Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the book club. Today we have Monali Chatterjee from Ahmedabad who has chosen to discuss a short film by the great Satyajit Ray. So, a Ray film, only 45 minutes long, with Smita Patil and Puri. Oh my gosh, such a winning over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for this brilliant opportunity. I hope up to live up to everybody's expectations. Sadgati by Satyajit Ray is a power-packed film. It is a stark mirror to caste and humanity. It is a profound exploration of caste oppression and human dignity based on Munshi Premchand's short story. Uh, Now, the short story was written in 1931 and the film was made in 1981, post India's independence. So, this presentation hopes to delve into its narrative, cinematic brilliance, and enduring social relevance. So, we will also be looking at Ray's masterful cinematic techniques, and that too on a very limited budget. So as you can see, um, if we if you have all seen the film, you would know that this is a seminal work that masterfully translates Munshi Premchand's story into a visual narrative. The introduction provides a concise uh, overview of the kind of rural landscape the film is based in. Uh, Also, Ray, in one of his interviews, had mentioned that it is a deeply angry film, not the anger of an exploding bomb, but a bow stretched, taut, and quivering. This profound anger was directed squarely at the entrenched injustices, systemic indiscrimination, and inhumanity perpetuated by the caste system, reflecting his commitment to social realism. The rural setting of the film
Can't hear
is
you.
really. Uh, should I repeat the last thing I mentioned? Am I audible now?
You're
Yes, you are.
absolutely. You need to speak louder, actually. I
Okay.
also feel that. Yeah.
All right. Is this better?
Yeah,
Yes,
slightly better. If you could do it even more, it'll be even better.
Uh,
this is very good.
okay.
Chatterjee,
Thank you. All
Radhika
right.
was
Thank
excellent there.
Okay. Um, so, as I was mentioning, that Ray, in one of his interviews, had mentioned how this is a deeply angry film, and it is not the anger of an exploding bomb, but a bow stretched, taut, and quivering. This powerful anger was directed squarely at the entrenched injustices, systemic indiscrimination and humanity perpetuated by the caste system, reflecting his commitment to social realism. Now, the setting is a rural one. It is meant to be a microcosm where the harsh realities of caste hierarchies are explicitly laid bare. Ray meticulously captures the everyday lives and interactions that underscore the deep seated societal divisions and the struggle for survival faced by the marginalized communities. So, this is how the film proceeds. Uh, it is Duki's tragic journey. He is the protagonist of the film. It is set against the unforgiving backdrop of rural India. Um, and Ray meticulously chronicles the heart wrenching tale of Tuki, a marginalized Dalit shoemaker. His desperate plea for the Brahmin priest's assistance, driven by deep seated societal customs and personal urgency. And this is inadvertently made to ignite a series of devastating events. So his urgent request is simply that he approaches the village Brahmin priest uh, for a favor, and this favor is that uh, it is a sacred duty to ascertain an auspicious date to schedule his daughter's impending wedding. In a traditional Indian society, securing a suitable wedding date from a Brahmin is supposed to be an indispensable ritual. And this is vital for the family's honor and the girl's future. Dukhi, despite his abject poverty and low caste status, understands the immense cultural social weight of this obligation. In the film, when the film begins, in the first few minutes, we realize that his daughter is hardly about 7 or 8 years old, not older than that, but she is aware of the fact that she's getting married, and the village pandit will come to visit her, and she's supposed to remain prepared, dress up, and also remain prepared with a host of other arrangements, particularly food grains and other gifts that are to be offered to him in return. So it also sort of nudges at the idea that child marriage was rampant, it was usual, it was common, and a female child, a girl child, would be socially conditioned to accept these ways of life. Uh, there is exploitation and back-breaking labor. So the Brahmin, leveraging his authority and Dukhi's desperate situation, agrees to help, but only in exchange for a day of unpaid strenuous labor. Dukhi, is very weak from chronic malnutrition, exhaustion, and the fact that he is recuperating from fever. He is forced to undertake tasks far beyond his physical capacity. He chops a massive tree trunk, um, sweeps the entire courtyard, and performs other arduous chores, all under the Brahmin's unyielding gaze and the relentless afternoon sun. His cruel exploitation becomes worse or worsens his already fragile health, highlighting the indifference of the upper caste. Now, his tragic collapse happens when, despite the gnawing hunger pangs that he suffers and the increasing physical debility, Dukhi toils relentlessly, driven by the hope of securing his daughter's future. His body, however, can no longer sustain the monumental effort. Um, he collapses under the scorching sun, succumbing to exhaustion, dehydration, and sheer starvation. His death is not swift, but a slow, agonizing surrender, and observed with detached indifference by the Brahmin and his family. So, uh, and while he is chopping this wood, there are certain onlookers. One of them probably belongs to his community and is quite supportive of him, is sympathetic towards him, but is equally poor and helpless. Uh, he cannot offer food, but he does offer him a smoke. And even to light up that, Dukhi has to go back to the Brahmin's house to get little flame for himself. And even that is offered very abjectly by his wife. So his wife actually um, uh, despises the fact that Dukhi continues to come to their house uh, or enter their house multiple times. So, and there is an indifferent aftermath. So, in this shocking display of dehumanization, the Brahmin refuses to touch Tuki's corpse, citing caste pollution. He demands that someone else removes the body. He approaches Duki's community, the community of shoemakers. Then this creates a grim stalemate. Not only, and it is not only after uh, a lot of deliberation, but after a good deal of discussion with his wife, that the Brahmin then decides to get the um, corpse of Dukhi disposed on his own. And to do that, he uses a noose. He ties this rope around. So a noose is tied around Duki's ankle, and he is dragged his body is dragged away to be disposed of. And it is very interesting to notice where it is disposed. The place, of course, the Brahmin drags it uphill and he disposes it at a place where we can find the skull and remains of other cattle, okay, which is tremendously disgusting to look at. So this is the inhuman treatment that is meted out to Dukhi just because he offered unpaid labor, hoping to secure a favor in return. So Dukhi's journey is a stark indictment of a system that strips individuals of their dignity, denies them basic human rights, and ultimately leads to their tragic demise, all under the guise of religious and social hierarchy. His story serves as a powerful microcosm of the systemic injustices faced by millions of people of such communities. Another very important aspect that I forgot to mention is the second witness, the second eyewitness to Dukhi's isolated suffering is a little boy who is actually the Brahmin's son. So it is interesting to see that he is the one who stands witness to Dukhi's suffering. He has a clean slate. He's not conditioned socially by the fact that he belongs to an upper caste, and the fact that all those who do not belong to his caste, who belong to a caste lower than his, are destined to suffer this way. And this helps him to um, see this situation from a different perspective altogether, the perspective of an objective onlooker. So there are key characters and performances here. So Om Puri is Dukhi. Om Puri delivers a profoundly moving performance as Dukhi, a Dalit shoemaker, embodying the silent suffering and crushing dignity of oppressed humanity. His authentic body language, gaunt physique, and expressive eyes conveyed a world of unspoken hardship, desperate hope for his daughter's future. Uh, Om Puri's portrayal makes Dukhi not just a victim but a poignant symbol of countless individuals trapped by an unjust system, creating a powerful emotional resonance with the audience. Next, we have Smita Patil as Jhuria. Jhuria is Dukhi's wife. Smita Patil brings a deeply empathetic, poignant portrayal to Jhuria, Dukhi's worried wife. There is a scene in which Dukhia does tell this onlooker, the first onlooker, that I have been asked to chop this wood into splinters, but it is not like I don't have enough physical strength in me, but I have just recovered from an illness and I have not had anything since morning. So he has a solid reason. And when Dukhia leaves to meet the Brahmin of the village, um, Jhuria does rush after him with some food and water, offering him some breakfast. But Dukhya is worried about the fact that the Brahmin might leave for work, leave home from work, and thereby miss him altogether. Okay, so their helplessness is visible in every moment of this film. Uh, so back to Smita Patil, she masterfully conveys Juria's strength, her helplessness, her quiet despair through subtle gestures and expressions. Her character serves as a stark reminder of the broader impact of caste oppression on entire families, highlighting constant anxiety and the fear that permeates their lives and underscoring the brutal realities faced by women in such a patriarchal and caste-ridden society. Next important character is the Brahmin priest, played by Mohan Agashe. So Mohan Agashe delivers a chilling, unforgettable performance as a Brahmin priest, character who embodies both entrenched caste arrogance, and a stark moral hypocrisy. Agashi's portrayal is devoid of overt villainy. Instead, he presents a man so deeply ingrained in the system of caste privilege that he genuinely believes his actions are justified or, at the very least, unremarkable. If you recall, some at the beginning of some of his part of the portrayal, we find that he counsels a young man and his father about how he should opt for a second marriage just because he has lost his first wife. He gives his own example. He mentions how his two previous wives have died, and his present wife is actually the third one. And being a Brahmin or a person of an upper caste, it is his inherent right to marry as many times as he likes and procreate. So that is what he's made for, and this is his responsibility to the society. In a way, the way he mentions this shows how he is conditioned to believe that this is his only responsibility towards the society. He His detached indifference, self-serving piety, and ultimate dehumanization of Dukhi drive the narrative's tragedy and serve as a powerful indictment of the injustice that the director of the film has sought to expose. The priest becomes a complex figure, not merely an evil individual, but a product and perpetuator of a deeply flawed social structure. So there is a lot to say about the cinematic style. So there is past dialogue and music. So the first hint of music that we get to hear is, I think, in the 13th minute of the film. So uh, Satyajit Ray masterfully employs a minimalistic approach to dialogue and background music. Instead of relying on extensive conversations or elaborate score, the film's emotional impact is intensified through silence, natural sounds, and the characters' non-verbal expressions. This deliberate scarcity forces the audience to engage more deeply with the visuals and the raw performances, allowing the profound pathos of Dukhi's um, situation to resonate without overt manipulation. The quietness underscores the oppressive atmosphere and Dukhi's isolation. This makes the few moments of spoken words or stark absence of music particularly poignant. The editing is also very terse or tight. Dulal Datta's precise economical editing maintains a taut, unrelenting uh, narrative pace. Each scene transitions with a deliberate rhythm, building tension and emphasizing relentless progression of Dukhi's tragic day. There are no superfluous shots or prolonged sequences. Every cut serves to advance the story, highlighting the escalating exploitation and suffering. Um, we have natural settings and costumes. So the film's authentic village backdrop and realistic attire are crucial in grounding the story in a harsh and unbelievable reality. There's visual symbolism. So as you can see, the monstrous log that Dukhi struggles to chop serves as a powerful metaphor for the immovability of caste oppression. So uh, and there are close-ups and framings. Ray frequently uses close-ups shots to capture the nuanced emotions and physical deterioration of Dukhi, particularly in Om Puri's expressive face and body. I will be showing you a scene, if possible, or just a picture to sort of explain this idea. The intimate frames draw the audience into Dukhi's personal ordeal, making his hunger, exhaustion, and despair palpable. The framing often emphasizes the power dynamics, with the Brahmin frequently shown in dominant positions, looking down upon Dukhi, or Dukhi himself framed in such a way that he seems far more diminutive in comparison to the Brahmin's frame. It is interesting to note that the Brahmin and his wife do not have names. Um, so as you can see that you will find many such scenes which show fatigue as a very prominent mood of the film, and this fatigue is not just individual fatigue but the fatigue of the entire society in facing this kind of racial discrimination. um, and we find Dukhi's helplessness. This is an iconic scene in many books of um, uh, film studies. We can see this particular frame shown and documented in various ways. So there's this social critique. Sadgati is a brutal and unflinching film, and Ray meticulously peels back the layers of societal injustice, revealing how ingrained prejudice and power dynamics crush human dignity and perpetuate cycles of exploitation, making it a timeless commentary or a systemic oppression. So the film meticulously illustrates how the Brahmin priest leverages his position of power. It highlights the deeply entrenched belief systems that rationalize such exploitation, showing how even other members of the Dalit community are conditioned to accept their marginalized status, contributing to societal paralysis. If you remember, once Dukhi is dead, the first onlooker who sees the entire scene gathers people of his community and tells them about the Brahmin, how he has tortured Dukhi and has taken the wrong advantage, which has actually caused him his life. Uh, that is how he was able to convince the people of his community that Dukhi's corpse should not be dealt with in any way. We should let the Brahmin do it. The Brahmin, on the other hand, approaches the shoemaker's community and tries to persuade them to get rid of Dukhi's body, but of course they do not help him. So that is perhaps the only silent um, resistance that they are able to show. Ray subtly critiques the religious sanction often used to justify the untouchability, um, portraying the priest's action as perversions of spiritual duty rather than an act of benevolence. The but there are some very interesting contrasts. There is a scene in which the Brahmin asks Dukhi to sweep his courtyard, and while he does that, Dukhi sweeps out quite a substantial amount of flour um, out of the house. And at the same time, and this is sharply contrasted with the next scene, wherein Julia goes to the grocer's shop and asks the grocer for a similar amount of flour apart from other food grains that are to be offered to this Brahmin. So the Brahmin's ruthless exploitation and utter lack of empathy stand in the stark contrast with Dukhi's inherent um, dignity and immense suffering, exposing the moral bankruptcy and inherent that is inherent in the caste system's hierarchy. So we also have the social paralysis, wherein Dukhi's corpse is rejected by both Brahmins and Dalits, and this exposes a horrifying social paralysis and dehumanization. Also, we have this tragic irony. Sadgati uh, all means deliverance, and here it actually means the deliverance or whatever is done in terms of rituals to uh, the body of somebody who is extremely important. And in this case, As you can see, the title is extremely ironic. The Brahmin's secret, undignified disposal of Dukhi's body in the final act symbolizes Sadgati as a tragic irony. And again, this is contrasted with what he does immediately after disposing of the body. The very next morning. So we find him sprinkling the auspicious water and reciting his incantations to purify the place and to ensure that everything is good and normal. So Ray's artistic vision and legacy. So obviously this is a watershed film. It marks a very significant moment in Ray's career, and it serves as one of his greatest films. Also, this became one of the important films that became an example for several others. And very soon I will mention what other films have taken its inspiration from this particular film. Apart from that, we find how realism and compassion have been balanced aptly in this film. There are subtle moments of gentle humor, and there is genuine warmth in the film, and we can discuss what are these examples. There's economy of expression. The film is very tightly conceived. It's very terse. And of course, it has received the the Special Jury Award in 1981, the National Film Awards, recognized for its profound social relevance. Uh, so it has a good deal of contemporary relevance even today. Um, Much of the kind of friction that we can see is not just politically generated, but it is also racially propelled. And although this is more than 40 years old, uh, Sadgati's message on caste injustice remains urgently relevant in not just contemporary India, but now it's all over the world. Uh, of course, it is one of the pioneering telefilms of Doordarshan, and this has been overtly researched. It has been able to grab a lot of scholarly attention. And finally, there are benchmark performances by Om Puri and Smita Patil. There are, in case if you look up the internet, you will also find a lot of photographs that deal with uh, the background work, for example, editing or dubbing. I'll be able to show one of the clippings if possible. Now, there are a lot of iconic visual moments in the film, like uh, Dukhi hacking at the massive wooden log under the blazing sun, or his face contorted, which powerfully symbolize a relentless, exhausting struggle against an immovable social order. And how the entire practice of doing this is a self-defeating one. So in a way, both the story and the film are not very hopeful that this social order will change, and it hasn't changed in the past so many years. Uh, of course, to conclude, Sadgati stands as a masterful fusion of literature and cinema. So the adaptation is a very faithful one. It transforms Munshi Premchand's story into a powerful visual critique that resonates deeply even today. Also, I I have not read the story, but even when you watch the film, it almost reads like a story. It is very matter of fact. There is absolutely no melodrama. There isn't an extra dialogue, and even the exchange that the Brahmin has with his wife, or even Dukhi has with his wife, are very sparse in nature. It challenges the viewers to confront the cruel realities of caste-based injustice and empathize profoundly with the oppressed. The film is a stark reminder that true deliverance lies in dismantling systemic social injustice, not in empty ritualistic gestures. And Sadgati remains a timeless and essential film. It is a masterpiece because it understands India's intricate social fabric and the profound human cost of inequality. I will conclude with a very short video of Satyajit Ray helping in the dubbing of the film. I'll just stop sharing for. So what you're seeing here is actually a dubbing scene. So you'll be able to find
Yeah.
out what's going on.
पेट भर आटा पाव भर दाल आधा पाव घी नॉन हल्दी
पंडित जी के यहाँ जाना था ना आज सवेरे
How could they get here?
इधर भेज के लिए क्या और क्या
Okay. Thank you very much for patiently listening to me.
Monali, there was a last bit maybe you overlooked in an otherwise very interesting rendering. The Brahmin finally, after the body is disposed, he purifies the place with the Ganga Jal. That was a very
Yes,
powerful action.
He did
I
more.
did mention that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So I'm sorry.
Monali,
If you've
yeah.
mentioned it, I didn't hear that because otherwise he never did anything. Pro this guy. Not that this action was pro, but the detestation or the feeling of his presence being so impure that he had to do even this. I would have thought that uh, I knew all this existed then, and to a large extent, it probably exists even now. But the fact that he treated a very hungry man in the way he did would have been enough for him not to want to do the purification deed. That's what I presumed. But no, he did go ahead and bring that Ganga Jal, or if it was Ganga Jal, and clean up the place, So that was, I
Yeah.
thought.
Please,
Mhm.
please, Latika.
Yeah.
Now,
Mon-
Latika,
yes.
by the way, I mean, organizes, orchestrates, curates film festivals, and has done so many. So Latika's comments are going to be very valuable.
No, not really. I just wanted to refer to what Monali has already said. She said that this is a deeply angry film, and
Yeah.
she says it's not really a question of an anger of an exploding bomb, and that's what she said. But there were two other sentences before it which were quite important. Wherever you got this information from, I may have got it from the same source. I was looking at the internet. Satyajit Ray said, this is what happens when you have 2000 years of orthodoxy.
2000 years of
Orthodoxy.
Orthodoxy.
Yeah. You are not conscious. You think what you are doing is right. This is what is expected of you. And so you have spiritual justification for everything that you do. And then follows what he says the anger is. So this is what is normally done. You don't have to question, even when you are making others suffer, both physically, psychologically, mentally, everything. It doesn't matter. This is what you are supposed to do. So in that sense, it's an extraordinarily intense and very realistic, not at all theatrical kind of thing. And one other thing I wish to point out, I don't know if you felt that way, the Brahmin and his wife,
Yes,
initially, it's the wife who was the real evil person, Is the
correct.
Brahmin who seemed to have a little soft corner. But by the time the film ends, she has changed and he has become orthodox more. So there's a change in those. That is a change that you actually find, I think that is what is interesting because that is characterization in the film. It's the woman, the Brahmin woman, who has a softer view of all the brutality that is being inflicted on the man. And not the other one. The other one says, oh, marry again and again. All we have to do is procreate. That's what's important to him. It doesn't matter if in the bargain people are dying of whichever it may be your own action which is making them die. It doesn't matter. And Mohan Agashi becomes like that. The Brahmin becomes like that. and his wife becomes softer. So that's a change, which one didn't expect.
Has
Yes,
this is 30 years old. This is a 30-year-old film.
more than 40 years old, 45.
40
44
years,
years
right?
old.
Yeah,
Have things
45.
changed in these 45 years?
I think they have. I
How
think they have.
much? How much?
How much percentage wise or whatever, I cannot tell. But I don't think it exists till this. And another question I wish to ask Monali, when you're talking about caste discrimination, caste absurdities, there is the Brahmin against the Dalit. But is there caste discrimination among the Dalits too?
Very
Are there
much.
upper Dalits?
Yes,
Very much.
yes.
Yes,
I think that has come out
very
also.
much.
Yeah.
Yes,
Dalits.
yes.
They don't want to touch the
And-
body. The body happens to be in the precincts of the Brahmin's
Yes.
house. So he has to dispose of it because the others are not coming forward the other Dalits are not coming forward to help him. Maybe he was a shoemaker. Maybe another Dalit does something else and he's slightly higher.
Actually, shall we really call him a shoemaker?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know whether he was a shoemaker or not. I'm just saying what
No,
Monali
he
read up on
was.
it.
He probably
Uh,
was, because the Brahmin does mention that he is from this Chamar community, and
Yeah.
probably Chamars are tanners.
Cobbler,
So
yes.
it is
Yeah.
likely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
I
yes.
think
More
the
tanners
label
than shoemakers,
shoemaker.
actually.
Yes.
So
Yes.
chamars would be the people who would take uh, the
Timber.
cattle who died of
Yeah.
natural causes and skin them and use the
Correct.
skin and
And that is exactly where Dukhi is disposed. If you remember, when he is
yes,
disposed, okay, he is disposed
Yeah.
amongst the
The cattle.
corpses of the cattle,
the
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
which is terrible. Okay.
May I
And that
have
is how we show that how inhuman we have become. So even cattle do not follow the kind of racial discrimination that we do. And in today's world, this bitter world, to answer what Satish sir has said, do we still have this? We have it even today. Unfortunately, it has only changed form, but and the context has changed, but the racial discrimination is very much present. Otherwise, we would not have had so many global wars, clashes, not just in our country, but everywhere now. So this is a direct projection of this racial discrimination.
Is it
Nothing
racial
else.
discrimination? Is caste
But this has
discrimination
happened
racial
They were
everywhere.
discrimination?
talking of
This has
cow.
happened, Monali, it's happened
Yes.
everywhere. Uh, Azra would tell you what is happening in USA. What is happening now is also that it is discrimination or because of your language, race, whatever.
Now I'm asking whether in this case it is racial discrimination. Caste
No,
discrimination, does it always equal to racial discrimination?
they're two different things.
They're
Different.
different
In
things.
this
Yeah.
case,
They're two
I
different
felt it was not racial as such, it was pure caste.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
was casteist, yeah.
Okay,
And
Azra has her hand up. So Azra, and
Yeah,
then Nicole. Yes, Azra.
I would like to start out by congratulating Monali for her very enlightening and informative presentation. I think she's worked very hard on that.
Thank you, ma'am.
So that's what I'd like to start with. The second thing comes out more of my ignorance. In the last Sunday meeting, we talked of inevitable changes. So how come there haven't been changes in this practice in the villages of India? I'm talking from ignorance because from Monali's talk, the question I had was answered that not much has changed. If indeed that is the case, why not? And the second thing I'd like to know is more historical. How was the class system originated, and why it has uh, prevailed for such a long time? Then another practical question. Now, let's say in modern India, in a modern city, the Brahmin says this date is not auspicious, or this couple cannot get married. The mantras, whatever they are, don't match. What happens then in modern India? Let's say if the couple has chosen each other, it's so-called love marriage. What happens?
Okay. In today's times, it has become a little worse about that. they have started. See, it is like this. It's a kind of a if you're saying that things have changed over the last 30, 40 years. Things were improving and now it's going down.
Regressive.
There was a time when so we can see what had happened those days. Yes, we had all these riots, etc. there, but it was slowly changing over. But again, now it is coming back. It's like what you see in the US. Also, that is a different kind of a. It's all the very same thing everywhere now. I would say, I'm very very disappointed with myself.
The world.
World.
The word.
Strangely,
world.
people are wanting to go down the caste ladder so they get
Yes.
taken off the
I
line.
know.
Yes,
So it's become a
yes,
political thing now.
Yeah,
You know?
yes.
Yeah.
everyone wants to be a Kumbi. Every Maratha
Want
wants
that
to be a Kumbi.
label for advantage. Correct. For practical advantage.
Mm.
Okay. Anna, you have your hand up. Would you like to weigh in?
No, my question was not answered. What happens if a
Oh.
Brahmin says this match doesn't work and the couple is having a love marriage? Do the parents follow through or
Love marriage.
Oh.
There'll be murders.
Then
Well,
there'll be
hopefully.
honor killing. So that
Yeah.
causes honor
Well,
killing.
I was saying, hopefully, if they have the courage to fall in love, then they will have the courage to deny all these things.
And it
And
has
say,
happened
no,
actually.
this is a city couple, an educated couple, then yes.
okay?
I don't know how your question is basically how strong is the stranglehold,
Yes,
right?
yes,
That the priests have over community. So India is such a plural reality. One
that's
is
true.
what to say. This is true in the city, another thing in the village, etc. Right? Do you remember that movie called Rudali? Did anyone?
Yes.
Dimple Kapadia is this village woman. Her husband dies, and then she's a poor woman, but she wants to get those rights, those rights to be done. And she meets the priest, and the priest exploits her so shocking. Ye karna hoga, you'll have to do this, you'll have to do that. And she, poor thing, says, oh, how much will it cost? And he says, so much. Uh, Again, the uncaringness is horrible. By the way, here in this movie, when you were talking about that log, yeah, now there are logs and logs, right? This one was like stone. It was so hot. And that's what you said becomes a symbol. The hardness of it, the impenetrable. And you said immovability of caste oppression, right? It's like stone. What you going to do? And yeah, so the hardness basically of the upper caste towards the lower caste.
How
Yes.
was sorry? How was the caste system originated 2,000 years ago? How did it come about?
Controversial.
Smriti and all that. Manu Smriti.
No,
There are
it's not only
many.
controversial, but it's a long term. People who did a particular job were kept in that job all the while, and that's how it started way back. And then there's always someone who kind of makes up a with, tariffs are good, and we'll do for tariffs, and we'll do it. This is a bad thing. Let's not do it. Without much thought,
They say that when Manu did it, there's nothing bad or wrong about it. It was
this,
just a categorization,
and
systematization. This section of
someone
society,
asked,
that
I think,
section of one sex, that is. But I think the bad thing is the immobility, right? I mean, you look at a Jane Austen novel, and there are the upper caste, there are the trade people, right? Like in Pride and Prejudice, Bingleys are trade people. How come Darcy is friendly with? But what is better there is that they are mobile. There is social mobility. You can buy your place in a higher society. You can buy even a title, but in the Indian caste system,
We are born into it.
birth is
We're born into it. You can't change it.
You can't change.
So,
That's
if you're very wealthy, can you buy a position higher up?
your
No.
caste remains the same.
Your caste
mean-
will remain the same.
In a city, people are willing to ignore your caste, which I hope they are. High
Okay.
time they ignore. But The caste can't change. You can't say,
Okay.
okay, I'm going to learn how to be a priest and therefore I'm not a Brahmin. You can very well learn the priestly things. Your caste remains the same.
So
I
the
think
next
it's going to take
question is,
time, but there are many people who are not believers, either in the religion or in caste. There are more and more, many
Oh,
that.
yes,
That's number one.
yes.
Number two, there's a variety
Latika,
of
it's just you and
reactions
I.
to intercaste marriages.
Latika, it's just people like you and I. There, more and more people have started believing in all these religious symbols, etc. You ask other young people what we were in the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, and what we tried to
The
present 80s.
idealism of those
Things went
days.
have gone down, down, down tremendously. And someone asked a question, what about what is it? Now, each of the various divisions fight to try to get more of it. So you can have the Hindus, not just Hindus, Kunbis wanted, the Marathas wanted,
They're all Hindus.
everywhere, everyone wants a little bit of the pie. And get the pie with it. It's the same thing in the USA. He also wants a little bit of the lots of the pie, and I will get it. That's the kind of a thing that's happening around there, which in the 60s we tried to get rid of it. Till the 70s it was the thing, and then it started going down and down and down. That's how I look at it. Sorry, old man talking.
no, no,
No,
but
I'll give
what,
you a
what
lovely example. I'll give you a lovely example of a family which defies all this. Mukul's family and mine, you know, it's a real microcosm of India. We have Christians, Muslims, Sikhs, Jews, Jains, and Parsis.
I love it.
Our family. Now
Love
that
it.
is really a microcosm of India, and
Uh,
I love that idea.
and in
So
my
you
our
can see
family,
that that part of my family is very liberal. There's no way of saying we want
eh,
to marry Marathi, we want to marry Brahmins. No,
Yeah,
they're from all over.
and
that's a
in
yeah.
very
There are
small
such people too.
percentage. It's a start, but a very small percentage. A quick question, which may be political, when the talk of Ghar Vapsi is being uh, sort of promoted, which caste, suppose they do agree to go to Ghar Vapsi, which caste would they belong to?
The one that they
oh,
came
if
from.
I would look at it, where will I get a better job? And I'll take that caste. In Maharashtra, in this part of Maharashtra, this is a better community. In the UP, that is a better community kind of job. Aha! We people are smart when it comes to this. There's a guy from Acer who's been keeping quiet. Huh? Who's the gentleman there? Can't hear you.
Asa, oh, that is Professor Urmish Mehta. Sir, could you unmute him because he's got muted and I think he's waiting to
I'll
speak.
Yes, yes. Ask to unmute.
He may
I
not be
think
able to do that on his own. Can you unmute him?
I can only.
Yes, I
Am
unmuted.
I
Yes,
audible now?
yes.
Yes, I think.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. So I was trying to speak, and well, I'm thankful that I think probably Satish sir pointed it out. So I'm asked to express my views, and I'm so happy. First of all, I was very happy when Latika ma'am pointed out about the conversations between the priest and his wife, because I found those dialogues very interesting. And the other thing I want to tell is, of course, congratulate Monali first, because she pointed out many minute details and very effective use of music by Satyajit Ray in the previous review that she did about Bhuvan Shom, how Mrinal Sen used sound and music. Here also, Satyajit Ray has very effectively used music and sound both. But for me, the dialogues, effectivity, and the selection, of course, of the movie, uh, excellent. So yes, I was just listening to what the others were discussing, and very interesting discussion when this racial thing came into discussion. I wanted to share my experience when I was traveling in Manchester and London. But well, that will not be relevant to the topic. But yes, I'm very happy being here and enjoying it. And again, congratulations, Monali. And I'm really enjoying. Thank you so very much. I've always been benefiting a lot from being a part of this group, and I feel really lucky that she invites me, and I'm able to listen to all of you. Thank you so very much.
So let me say that you don't have to wait for her invitation. You are so welcome. So welcome. Please do come.
Get the
And
please, please,
yes, if
please,
I can
Mo,
have your
get the
number,
phone number,
I can
I think
to.
that's
I'll do that.
Mohini ma'am, right? Now I can
Yes.
recognize you all from your
Yeah.
voices. Mohini
Yes,
ma'am, I
that's me.
recognize. Latika ma'am, I know Satish sir. So these three I very well know, and gradually I'll be able to recognize all of you by
Yeah.
voices.
And no, we benefit from your, your contribution very much. So we love to have you again and again,
Thank you
whether
so.
Monali is here or not.
Yes, yes.
Okay, now I just want to say one thing before we let Anna have the mic. So, Professor Mehta just said something about the conversation between the Panditji and his wife, right? I just wanted to say both of them are quite aware of Dukhi's state, that he is hungry, he's not eaten all day, all that they're aware. But they can't be bothered to do anything about it, right? And like Panditji said, फिर दे दो ना दो चार रोटी उसको. She's but I only have such and such. Forget it. Again, a bit of ego. Like if she gives something, it should be something impressive, or forget it. So the lightness with which they take it, they can't be bothered, you know? Yeah. Okay. Anna.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Very nice
Hmm.
inputs. There are two things I just wanted to say. The onlooker, he kind of scares the other Dalit community, saying that this is a kind of murder, and the police will come in. So don't touch
Yes.
police case. So that is the way the onlooker, that's what I saw in the movie at least, stops the other Dalits from going to collect the body. And I also did read somewhere that the fact that the Brahmin had to drag the body, even though he didn't touch it, but he still had to drag it. That was a kind of a divine retribution to him in some form, because it was very polluting experience for him. And as far as the Dalits are concerned, there are actually three pillars, three forces at work in India. Somebody asked. One is the Ambedkarites. They have absolutely eschewed this. None of them follow those same professions which they're supposed to. They're highly educated, even the lower class ones. They all pursue white collar jobs, or even if they do construction, but they do not do demeaning labor. Then we have Sanskritization. We have so many of them now joining in satsangs, this, that, educating. That the most important pillar, of course, is the education. So in the cities, we are overcoming this.
Absolutely.
It is in the villages that we are really struggling. And I mean, I would not know how to deal or talk about that. But we do know that Ambedkar, after all he achieved, still suffered so much of discrimination. So I mean, this I just wanted to say about the situation. And I wanted to mention about uh, the subtle way in which Premchand has shown that the Brahmin was taught a lesson somewhat.
Hmm.
So yeah, anyway, that's all I wanted to share.
Hmm. Monali, I would like you to comment on that. About that
Um,
guy, the police and Yevo, what exactly is in his mind?
So this is actually very much like a certain cause and effect as a part of mental conditioning. So here, of course, this onlooker was trying to he was adamant to ensure that the other people of his community or the Dalit community do
Hmm.
not do anything about Dukhi's body,
Hmm.
because he feels that the Brahmin is totally responsible for this.
Responsible.
This is a murder and this should be punished. He is vaguely aware of the fact that because he's a Brahmin, he is going to clearly escape punishment, but at
Yeah.
least he tries to ensure that at least he does not get any support from the Dalit community, irrespective of whether they belong to the Chamar community or not. That is number one. The second cause and effect is where, of course, Anna ma'am actually mentioned this very clearly as to how the Brahmin had to drag Dukhi's body, okay? And along with that dragging, in the background was the rain, okay? The thundering happened when he was debating with his wife, and that is perhaps the most apt background that one could have had, because there was thundering even in his mind. He was trying to brainstorm, he was trying to rack his head to get a plan out to dispose of Dukhi's body, not because he is responsible for his death, because of the fact that his wife was warning that by tomorrow, this body will start stinking and it is going to bring or attract more people towards us, because we
Correct.
are the one who have made him suffer so much. And we knew that he was hungry, okay, and still we did that, okay. So there is this guilty feeling. So this thunder could have been the most apt background. And
Yeah.
when the Brahmin was dragging Dukhi's body up the hill, it was raining and it was pouring. And this is where Ray brings his cinematic appeal. All this requires washing, all this requires purgation. The society requires purgation. I think what best cinematic appeal could have been brought rather than this. So I don't know, I've tried to answer Anna
Beautiful,
ma'am's question.
Well, you
beautiful.
could
If
say
you can
the
answer
heavens were
all,
crying for him.
Probably, if that is how we want to look at it.
we look at
But
that
in
way.
case, and of course, yes, I forgot to mention, there were either long shots, very long shots. There were no mid shots, mid long shots, but either they were very close to the face or they were very long shots, but there was
Mm.
nothing in the middle. So Satyajit Ray was probably trying to say through these shots that we need to take an extreme stance. Take a stance, otherwise we are nowhere. And till date, we have not been able to take that stance somehow. And as Latika ma'am has rightly and bitterly pointed out, people want to go down the social ladder to attain certain advantages over the other. So this is another form of casteism that is existent now.
Very
And I
true.
don't want to tread onto
Azra,
provocative grounds here.
Very true.
I would like to tell Azra something. This is now many years back. I was still in college, and there was those days India used to have famine and problems like that. So we started a kitchen in Bihar, and but said no free. You help build a road, do all the thing road, come and take lunch from us, and then go. That was all we said, and we also
Food
used
for
to go and
labor. Yes, food for labor.
food for labor. And we also used to get food for, we had to go and spend 2 hours or 3 hours. Uh,
And by the way, when he says
I was
we,
standing on the line, and when my man comes up and said, I
um,
believe you're doling out food. I said, yes, please. So I said, okay, I would like some. I said, fine. Here's a spade. Go down there and help out. He said, आप नहीं जानते, but if you don't realize, but I am a Brahmin. So I said, that doesn't matter. We welcome you also. You are not understanding me at all. I am a Brahmin. So I said, look, yeah, look, mister, I'm supposed to be a Brahmin. And I go and do that and I eat with them and I live with them. But I cannot do this. It went on for about 15 minutes, 10 minutes. He just argued with me. But he refused to go and work. He wanted food without. So
he offered to do puja for you.
आफ्टर हाँ so इधर पूजा हम क्या करेंगे आपके लिए पूजा करेंगे वो करके देते हैं मैं पूजा पूजा नहीं but see they built a thing around it.
A
Our Brahmin will
blinkered
not do this.
approach.
This will do this.
Yes,
Each
like
caste will
those
do this work,
narrow
which
definition.
I think was the was
Was
has been broken down now, and I'm very glad that it has broken down. Just the thing. Sorry to have interrupted. More take over.
Yeah.
Mona,
No, I wondered when you said we, they must be wondering who's we. So these were guys from IIT Bombay who went to work with Jai Prakash Narayan, you
Oh,
know,
that I have argued
and
with Jayaprakash Narayan also.
in the ashram. That's what they built a
This
road. They
was not
showed how
ashram
to dig
more.
a well,
Yeah.
a gobar gas plant, and all that. We was boys from it. Acha, okay, back we
We.
come. Now, I was wondering, Monali, like when this movie was made, where does it stand in the repertoire of Satyajit Ray? I mean, how important is it, or how good, or what's its stature
So,
within? Hmm,
okay. So, when Doordarshan had started its series of telefilms. So this
hmm,
is one such film that came up. Usually this used to be broadcast around late night. This was not prime time, but this was certainly Ray's earliest films. It had a lower budget. What I could get from the kind of there are other films, do watch them if you can. There's an amazing film called Target, again by
hmm,
the same director, and Om Puri is supposed to be a gunman, and we find him firing at a tree. So that is how it's target. But of course, it has a very dark story. This is a relatively better one. Again, it is based on a classic story. And apart from just Satyajit Ray, there was Shyam Benegal. There were certain other filmmakers as well who would make these telefilms.
hmm.
Most of them were based on literature, and they often talked about certain burning social issues of the day. So this is in terms of the films of Satyajit Ray. Again, this had become very much like a model for Ray himself as well. I'm sure Latika ma'am could tell us more about this, but he has spoken about this particular film very rarely in his interviews. But when he has certainly spoken about how a lot of our classics do not get the kind of attention that it merits. So that is why he brought this up. This is not Munshi Premchand's famous story. His famous story is Thakur Kakua, and I'm sure all of you have heard about this. Apart from this, I had promised to tell you about certain other films that this particular film has inspired. So there is, apart from just the Sadgati, there is a film called
Yeah.
Achut Kanya.
Yeah.
Okay, and there is Sujata, Ankur, Akrosh, Sarat. They are all Dalit films. There is Mrinal Sen's Uri Katha. There's Trilok Jetli's Godan, again based on Premchand's work. Also, Oka Uri Katha suggests the opposite, how Dalits can bring about their own ruin and remain immune to the tragedy of women of the family. Okay. So that is
But
a very
Monali, some of the
famous film.
films you mentioned
Yeah.
actually were made before this one.
Before this one,
So
I
just
have.
list out the ones you mentioned.
So I spoke about Achut Kanya.
Achyut Kanya is an old
Uh,
film that didn't come after Sadgati.
no, no, no. I am
No.
talking about the films that have been inspired by this one.
By this
So
one. But,
yes,
That came
but
before.
Achyut Kanya is an old one.
but
How can it be inspired by
Exactly,
Sadgati?
Latika ma'am is right. Even Sujata for that
uh,
matter. I think
Even
she mentioned
Sujata, I mean,
I
the, all
Sujata.
the
think
Yes.
films
I'm
you
not very
mentioned.
sure about this, but
Yeah, yeah. They all
Bimal
came
Roy
before.
Sujata came before that, right?
Yes,
Right,
yes,
right.
Yes.
long before.
Yes, yes, long before this.
Yeah.
Films
So
inspired by the
then,
sneaky shoes.
What is
yes,
interesting is that,
Before
this
that.
subject of Dalit exploitation, cruelty against the Dalits, and all that has existed in our commercial cinema too, not only in great artists like
yes,
Vijay,
yes.
but
In
in
fact, there,
commercial.
yes, and in fact, there's Gautam Ghosh's Par, if
Yes,
anybody remembers. It's based on Samaresh Bose's Bengali story Pari, and of course, not a very recent film, but a relatively recent film is Prakash Jha's Arakshan. Of course, pro Dalit groups in Kanpur have been shown. So this is again uh, a film that talks about Dalit groups. There's Nagraj Manjule's Fundry. I've not
Fandry,
heard of this.
Fandry.
Fundry. And Shambeniger's Ankur is a very famous one.
But I have a question here.
Yeah.
Monisha, when will you make your own film, direct it? When,
I didn't get this.
when are you going to make your film?
When are you
I
going to
didn't get.
direct your own film? You're a movie
Oh,
buff.
Don't laugh.
Yeah, you
I'll
know
give you the
so much
story.
about
I'll
film.
give you a story and help you work it out further.
You're so knowledgeable about
no,
the
no,
movie.
no, no.
Why not?
No.
What are you laughing about?
Mhm.
No.
That's how it
I
all
mean,
starts.
I
In fact, even younger than you people are making films. So sit down and write it.
Yes.
Arey,
I won't charge
Ajkal,
you a rupee or anything for using my film, my
oh my
story.
God.
That's
so
really
No, that
great.
I think
oh,
Kaveri's been waiting for some time to express.
yes. I think Kaveri ma'am wants to say something, and even
And
Book Club
Kaveri,
ma'am
I
wants
want
to
to
say.
talk to you before you go, huh? Talk
yes,
to me.
don't disappear.
Yeah, thank you so much, Monali. You've taken so much care to present the film with the visuals and the explanations that you've given. Really beautifully done.
Thank you.
Two things about this. First was the sort of the implicit irony in the title, Sadgati, which actually implies the final
Moksha.
deliverance of a soul
Yeah.
when they can achieve moksha or liberation, right? The
Yes.
final stage. Now, the irony that for Dukhi, the term Sadgati is being represented because a Brahmin had to carry out the final act of taking him to the place where he was left. That's so there's a wonderful the entire story and the film in which it has been the way it has been filmed points to the way in this the term, the origin of the title of the story is so ironically relevant in the way in which it is shown. That's the first thing. Second, I noticed during the in part of the filming that there was this statue of Ravan which was shown
Yes.
when Dukhi is approaching the Brahmin's house, and you can hear the bell ringing when he's carrying out his rituals, and Dukhi is approaching the Brahmin's house. I thought that was also a kind of a subtle reference to the evil that is kind of lurking in the Brahmin's, perhaps not in his intentions, but in the way in which his caste superiority.
Yes.
The term caste, of course, is of Portuguese origin. The Varna was what we used to use in ancient India. It was Varna, and the Brahmins, and it was more occupation-based. In today's India, there is no occupational rigidity, at least in urban India, for the different castes. A Brahmin can work in wherever he can find a work today, a job today. So the occupational hierarchy, which is the origin of the Varna system, has almost completely been demolished in urban India.
Yes.
But the and scheduled castes, those are called scheduled castes, and they find occupation in IT. You know that the problem of caste which has emerged in the US now. So the occupational rigidity has disappeared, but it's during the social observances of society, particularly in marriage. In Bengal, I've noticed that's the time when the caste origin or the Varna origin comes in. Otherwise, the occupational relevance is almost completely disappeared.
Yes.
And as
Just one thing, Mohi, I've sent you something just now.
Yeah.
I'm saying this for everyone's interest or information for everybody. There is a play being performed tomorrow directed by someone I know, a young man called Rishikesh. And he is actually doing Coriolanus.
Doing what?
Shakespeare's
Coriolanus.
But
Shakespeare.
He is doing it
We saw
with
the movie.
reference to the Dabolkar murder and Gauri Lankesh murder.
Wow.
So, I don't know how he's bringing it in, but I'm
Yeah.
How
giving this to
interesting.
Moini in case you wish to. There's a book my show, and you can book tickets and go to
Okay.
the box. In
The
Goa,
box.
at the box.
Okay.
At the box.
Right.
But
Latika, like your
will it be allowed?
Huh?
Is it being allowed?
Is what allowed?
That presentation of that what he's doing.
I don't know. I'm just telling you because you're all literature people here.
Yeah.
Well, Latika, thank you.
Something.
Why don't you put it on the group? Yes, Mukul.
Put it the thing, and we'll see.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to whatever comes first. Yeah.
Put it on
Send
the
it to
book
me.
club.
Send it to me. I'm the one who's
Mukul,
the most interested.
yes. Unmute. Mukul, unmute.
Yeah, I've been waiting for a very long time because I have a small disagreement about the Chamar, the Dalit group not going forward to pick up the body of Dukhi. I'm not sure that they belong to another Dalit caste. I didn't get that anywhere. It's just that a small revenge that they had that now, Brahmin, you've done this, you
The
sort of,
rebellion.
you please clear your
Holy
own mess
Valkyrie.
kind of thing. And the rain added to this
Absolutely, I
fact of
agree.
decomposing and so he had to make a very quick decision. So that was one of the things, and I didn't think of it as deliverance then, but of course it's open to different interpretations. But it is that now you killed him, you didn't give him food, you look after your mess. I mean,
But they're
so
being
so
defiant.
yeah, they were defiant.
Defiant.
That's what I mean.
We
Not
will
so,
not,
yeah,
it's
yeah, because under no circumstances would the Brahmin have just thrown the body. First, he wouldn't have, made his surroundings impure. He needed to purify them fast enough. So he would have done that, and nobody else would have done it. So he has that hook, and then he has that rope, and then he ties it. So
to
he
avoid
keeps
touching.
away from the body as much as possible and succeeds, and he does this. But they don't come there and help him, though he is one of their caste mates. So,
Just to punish the Brahmins.
May I
yeah,
say
But
that's how I looked at it.
jolly
That's
well
how I
deal
looked at it.
what you
Yeah,
have done.
yeah.
Absolutely.
May I say
Yeah.
something?
And by the way, Kaveri, that was a great thing that you mentioned, Ravan. Because I remember seeing that and think, I must think about that. And I didn't think about it. But does that mean that it's sort of Dasera or something? Are they preparing? And Dasera is
Probably.
supposed to be the
Probably.
victory of good over evil. Whereas here you see evil win
Over good.
over good.
Yeah.
More than
Tyrant there again.
In fact, what Mukul ma'am just mentioned, that he goes to the community of Dalits and approaches, but we are not sure whether he belongs to the Chamar community or not. But there is a place towards the end of the film wherein he does tell his wife that I went to his village and approached the Chamar community. So I'm assuming that the people whom the Brahmin had approached are the people of Dukhi's community.
Yes,
Altogether. So it is likely that they are the same community, and they may or may not be the same people whom this onlooker had discouraged earlier, saying that please do not do anything about the cops because this may become a police case and we may get into trouble. Okay, so
Yeah,
they
so
need not be the same set of people, but they also did not stand in support of Dukhi, because then there was this feeling of vengefulness. First, of course, we find Smita Patil crying and feeling devastated. We find the girl also extremely broken as soon as the girl is this little child, and she feels extremely broken when she hears about her father. But the remaining onlookers do nothing about it, because they know that in case if we go to such a place, a different place altogether, even if it's the same village, but maybe we may not even gain entry into the precincts of that corpse. So let us not do anything about it. So that is probably, and this is all unsaid, so it is open to
yeah.
more and more interpretation.
No,
So this is
there's someone
just
called Prabhakar Dhakefarkar.
Yes, I know.
Prabhakar,
We
can we
can
see
welcome
you?
him.
Can you
Acha,
speak out,
Gautam
please?
had
Gautam
raised
is
his
wanting to
hand.
speak.
After Gautam, yes.
Gautam,
Prabhakar
Yes, after
Dhakefalkar.
Gautam wants to speak.
I just call Gautam also. Prabhakar Dhakefalkar. On kara.
Can
Switch
we?
on
Can
kara.
we? Huh. Acha Gautam, please show yourself also.
And Prabhakar, तुम्ही पण आपला चेहरा दाखवा.
Yes, Gautam. Yes.
Two things. One, of course, I do not agree with any of you. It was true
Of
deliverance in the
course.
sense that that Ompuri guy, instead of getting salvation, moksha, and having his body disposed of within his community, a lower class chamas, he was lucky to have his body disposed of by the Brahmin himself. What more could that be? So that is true deliverance. That is one. Second point is that I find it amazing that the wife should abandon the body, not sit by the side of the body continuously or be concerned about the body for many hours. That the community chamar, out of revenge or fearfulness of the police case or whatever reason, the mid-caste guy, the onlooker was a mid-caste because he was not part of the chamar. He instigated the problem against the Brahmin and he walked away. So I do not see how the wife, the true wife, would abandon the body. That the chamas can, the community can, but the wife should. I find it a bit strange. The third aspect, of course, is that this Munshi Premchand wrote it in 1931. The movie was made in 1981. This is 44 years later. I think there's a tremendous change. The upper castes are willing to be classified as lower castes to be economically ahead and remain ahead, hopefully. So the whole thing is topsy-turvy. That's it.
But were women allowed to handle corpses?
No, I did not say that
Not
the woman. I did not say
She
the woman.
couldn't do it, maybe.
No, I did not say the woman is allowed to handle corpses. It's your husband's body. You would at least stand vigil and be there. That's all.
Yeah, the wifely devotion.
Yes. So
So one.
I find that very strange and odd. I think it was Munshi Premchand and of course Satyajit Ray he's been conforming to the Upanyas or to the short story by Premchand to emphasize, and Premchand was emphasizing the dramatic aspect of it. But I would not ordinarily expect a wife of any, whether low class or upper caste, to kind of abandon a body of the husband in the rain or in the muck. That doesn't make sense to me.
True.
It doesn't make sense to anyone, but that's how it was, I guess.
Well, considering that we have all the characters behaving as they would have typically, then this is atypical. It's true. Gautam has made a good point. Yes.
I'm saying that he
And
got
by
true
the
deliverance. That it is not ironical. It is ironical in some senses, but not the way you guys have been portraying it. It is fantastic. He's lucky enough to get delivered by deliverance through the Brahmin.
Well, okay. Now tell me something. Now we have a sort of Marwari family out here who told me with great pride. She said that her mother-in-law had died by Sadgati. And so I looked by Sadgati, So I said, I look blank probably. And she said, समझ रहे हो, जानते हो क्या है? So I said, नहीं. So she said, Sadgati yani choosing to die. Okay?
That's a Jain
So
custom.
she didn't die by natural causes. She just refused water, refused food. That is Sadgati. That's a very lofty thing apparently.
Is that Sadgati or Santhara?
Santhara, exactly.
Huh? Who said that?
Santhara, when you choose to die.
Yes. That's Santhara.
I see. So
and Jains, I think Jains do that.
Jains have it, yeah.
But the Jains do that. The others are this. There's a whole movement going on about when you're beyond a certain limit and etc. It's up to you to decide whether you want to be here or be somewhere else. You can knock yourself out. It is going on. There's a movement around in the country, and well, the country needs to think a little more before they do it. I can well agree.
You're talking about euthanasia? Are you talking about
euthanasia?
Yeah. Well,
I remember we had the book club had a talk on that. We did, and a play also a movie we seen which was that about this thing. What was the name of it more? You think
Which one?
the one which each part of the body has been given and all of them come together.
Ship of Theseus.
Huh?
Yes, ship
The
of
ship of
Theseus. Yes.
Theseus.
Theseus. Yeah, that is it. So now that this, let's say people are thinking, but problem is we do not have people thinking broadly, and that's where we always get stuck. So keep your fingers crossed.
Great
In
guys,
fact,
you
this in fact this euthanasia, Lieutenant General, what's his name, Ahuja,
Ahuja.
BG Deshmukh and myself had a long chat and then said we're trying to see how we can get it in India.
Yeah,
In
there was
India.
that movie.
You were there, Mo.
I know, I was there. Also, I'm saying there was in the book club meeting, General Ahuja was talking from the viewpoint of that movie. Was it Hrithik Roshan or something? Who was
Yes,
it?
it
The
was
guy,
it was Guzarish.
Guzarish.
Yes,
It is from
Guzarish.
that point, that was the launching point. That movie, and he was so emotional talking about it. Yes. Yeah, I remember. Okay, onwards.
Azra,
Yes, dear.
Azra, you must be finding us that we discuss a lot of issues which you'll find different than most book clubs.
I find it fascinating. I find it really. Each one has their own take, and it's open discussion. I think it's wonderful. And again,
Okay.
Monali, you have to make a movie because I think very recently an Indian girl, her film was she got the director's award at the Venice Film Festival,
Yeah.
and she's a complete novice.
Very young
Yes.
person.
Oh, she will.
Yeah.
Monali would be getting that. She's going to take my book and convert it into a movie.
Yes, yes. Monali,
Wow.
please make something. You are so knowledgeable about and your take on the shots. Oh wow. Have you taken a course on movie making?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am, not at all.
What about
I have
script
to
writing?
leave.
What
My
about script writing?
laptop's gone. I have to leave.
I not really, but I have written a lot about films. I do enjoy watching films, and I really wanted to become a filmmaker sometime.
There, I'm
But
telling you
but
how we can do it.
Satish
I
spotted it.
Ask your boss.
what I
He spotted it.
Oh, you got Acer. What's your name again?
There's Urmesh.
Uh,
Urmesh, sir.
Urmesh
Professor
Mehta.
Urmesh Mehta.
Please push her. This is not the thing you give up. No one should give up easily. You should
Fine.
think about it and go ahead.
Yeah, we'll all
Don't
support
give up your
you.
dreams.
Yeah.
Oh, then you will have to first
Okay.
think of a producer for this. Who
We'll
would
get a
produce
producer.
this?
Arey, yeah, you don't know the friend Satish Khoth. He knows how to get things moving.
Okay.
It's good to
Thank
smile.
you so
and talk.
much.
Huh?
Thank you. I
Anna?
got to
That,
leave.
yeah.
Thank you.
Anna, is
Thank
that
you,
your hand
ma'am.
up?
Yeah, I've got a book by Premchand, right? So I think this thing of the wife leaving the body is a kind of what do you call it, theatrical device, because that's not in Premchand's story. In Premchand's story, he says it was nearly midnight and nobody had come yet to remove the dead body. The cries of the tanner women were constantly disturbing the peaceful slumber of the stone gods. But how could the Brahmin remove a tanner's dead body? How could this be done? The Shastras did not permit it. At last, the poor women also left. So you see, that's
Ah,
not Premchand. That's
that's
what
it.
Satyajit Ray has done. And it very clearly says fear of the police. Very clearly. That's in another line, but I won't read it. So just for the clarification, I pulled it out. Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
excellent.
Thank you so much,
Anna,
ma'am.
this is precious.
Yes,
Precious what you
yes.
have given. Gautam, you are answered. And that this makes very good sense that the women were
Yes.
there. All right.
Yes.
Reminds you of the Trojan women, that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
So
The mourning women. Yeah.
this guy, this director, this unknown director called Satyajit Ray made a mess of it.
No,
Haha. Uh,
it's like
No,
a
no, I was-
poetic device.
You're talking to
I
someone, a new director, one of the new directors, Monali Chatterjee. She was going to be the In your college, my friend, you have to push her to do right. There, he
Yes,
was
yes,
able to do it.
yes, 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 for sure. I keep doing that.
That's it. That's it.
Yes.
Kabhi bhi,
Okay.
you
Right.
don't give up.
I think we should now
Fighting.
Take care.
Yes.
Oh,
Az-
Sanjay is here. He hasn't
Azra,
said
thank
anything.
you.
Sanjay,
Bye-bye.
Yes.
Thank you
All the
all.
very
Thank
best.
you,
we
Monali.
are
Thank you,
wrapping
ma'am.
up. We
Thank
are
you,
wrapping
ma'am.
up.
Wonderful
Thank you.
discussion. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye-bye, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
Sanjay,
Please,
we missed
Sanjay.
you.
Sanjay, would you like to say something? Would you
Yeah,
like
hi.
to?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, can do.
Yeah, actually, I found the story a little dated. I mean, so much has changed since
Oh,
Premchand
yeah.
wrote in 1931, you know. I mean, now you have the 100 members of parliament from the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. There are people in judiciary, in the armed forces, in administration and police, and at the local level, at the village level, in the panchayats. So now I'm talking about all this and urbanization, you know, the person you're sitting next to in the train or the bus, you don't know what his caste is. You know, the person who's serving you food in a restaurant. So I don't know if it's very relevant today, frankly. That's one. And the other thing that I found was that this is not the typical Satyajit Ray movie. His genius lies in that slice of life story, you know, like those Apu films that he made. I think that's what I'd like to say. Yeah. But thanks to Monali, good, very good presentation, I must say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
let's
sir.
read it. It's a classic, right? It's a classic.
Yes.
Okay, so we wrap up now. So Monali, thank you so much. Hmm.
Thank you,
I'd
ma'am.
also put it on record, to thank Sunita, though she's not here.
Yes.
She is the one who made this happen. I need to get some lessons on this new Zoom workplace. It was frustrating. I must say it was annoying. But anyway, we are here. We got here. We had the presentation, which was excellent, Monali. Thank you. And do carry on with your films because I think you're the only one doing films. So it's like a ray of sunshine, a breath of fresh air, and all that. I know Latika will do it once her eye trouble, goes away. But right now, she can't. All right, so thank you everyone. Those who came, those who spoke, those who listened and learned and widened their horizons, which I think is true for everyone.
Monali,
Okay.
there are a lot of short films, and I think they're very well written nowadays. I've been going through them, and I find them very good. Some of them classic, short for 10 minutes or
10
so, and
minutes,
you
15.
make a
Yes.
beautiful point. And
Excellent.
Yes.
I was asked to write for it. I found it very difficult, but I think I
Yes.
should really force myself and write.
Yeah, he did. He wrote one screenplay.
Huh?
Yes. You wrote one
I
screenplay,
wrote one, but it didn't come out well.
but wasn't
I,
it?
but it is, I think, worth the while. That short place, small place, because in that little
Okay. Now
10 minutes you make up a good point.
I'm going to stop recording. All right.
Yeah, put it off.
Now we can of course continue talking, but I'm going to stop recording.
Bye, everyone. All the very best. Thank you, and keep in touch.
Okay. And please look
Thank
at the
you. Thank you so
calendar,
much.
Thank you.
see the changes that have been made. Now, next Sunday was going to be The Idiot, right? But it has been
Yes.
postponed. So please look at the calendar, note the changes, okay?
ऐसा नहीं कि खाली फिल्मों के लिए आना सब आ जाओ ओपन से माइंड